everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to England where there is a storm going on. It is 12:42 in the afternoon and apparently having box lights and a ring light wasn't enough, that the lamps are on as well and it feels like it's, I don't know, 7 o'clock at night. It's so dark, there is a storm, it's not good. Although it does give for a nice cosy atmosphere, I'm not going to lie. Maybe I should film in the evenings more often if this is what it looks like. But anyway, we've got major lights going on today for our video today where I'm going to talk about stocking fillers for Christmas this year. I am loving filming Christmas themed videos. It is just, I just love it. So anyway, where did this whole idea come from? So last year I spent my first Christmas in my own home with my husband. It felt like it was going to be a special one. With it being our first Christmas in our first home, we both got ill, so it didn't go very well. But all of that aside, in the lead up to Christmas, I decided that I was going to buy us both Christmas stockings and fill them with lots of lovely little bits for us to have on Christmas Eve. And I thought maybe that'd be a nice tradition. I know some people have Christmas Eve boxes, or they open one present on Christmas Eve, or in some cultures open all your presents on Christmas Eve. But I thought it would just be a really nice tradition we could start between the two of us, and then if ever we had a family, we could carry that on, where we have stockings and we open those on the evening of Christmas Eve, and there'd be nice cozy things in there for us to enjoy on Christmas Eve, like pajamas and chocolates and maybe a DVD to watch and things like that. And I kind of went to town with it and maybe went a little bit overboard, which is why I want to talk to you about a more minimal approach to stocking fillers this year. So here is my stocking, which I bought last year and went into the same shop a week later and it was half price, because that's how life works. But anyway, I really love it. It's really soft, I love the colour, and I have said in the past that I really don't like red, particularly at Christmas, but I don't know what it was about this. I absolutely loved it. I don't know if it's because it's more of a pinky, or it is in real life, I don't know if that comes across on the camera. It's more of a pinky, kind of a cooler shade of red, if you can have a cooler shade of red. So here's mine, and I have a matching one for my husband. So we have our stockings, they are quite big, which meant that you could fit things that are quite a decent size in there. But last year I did run into the trap of buying things like novelty items, I suppose, things that didn't really serve a purpose, a bit silly, and end up either in a cupboard or in the bin like a week after Christmas. So this year I'm hoping to completely avoid anything like that, and that stocking fillers are going to be practical, useful, things people can enjoy without them being sort of wasteful rubbish, basically. Now before I start, you don't have to actively actually go out and buy stocking fillers. That was my first mistake. I wanted everything in these to be items that I had bought specifically for Christmas Eve, thinking about what we could do and enjoy on Christmas Eve. And I also got into a bit of a corresponding thing. So if I bought something for me, I bought something for my husband. If I bought something for my husband, I bought something for me, kind of like of a similar nature. Not necessarily exactly the same because we have different interests, but kind of similar, so that everything sort of matched, which now I think about it was a bit silly. So, rule one is you don't need to buy stocking fillers. Wait for Christmas to come around, and generally speaking, I imagine people receive their presents a few days in advance of Christmas. And if you've got any smaller items, regardless of who they're from, they could go into your stocking. I think this is just something I've got a problem with, because growing up we never had stockings. It wasn't something that happened. So people probably do put their smaller presents in stockings, but I wasn't raised knowing to do that, so maybe that's why I've treated this as a whole separate thing. But anyway, smaller gifts can go straight into your stocking. Start filling it up, that way you've not actually got to buy anything to fill it up. I've got into the mindset that having to fill up a stocking, this whole idea of stocking fillers, can be quite wasteful because you're buying things for the sake of it, to fill something up, whether that person needs it, whether that person will want it, enjoy it, use it. You're buying for the sake of it, and that's a bit of a pitfall when it comes to filling stockings. So I've rambled on enough. I'm going to share with you 10 ideas for stocking fillers that I think are practical, useful, and that people will enjoy. So let's get into the list. The first item on my list is a book. A book is a brilliant gift over the Christmas period. It will take the person a little while to read it. They can get cozy with a nice hot drink, curl up on the sofa and enjoy some time reading a book and relaxing. Books cover everybody's interest, so the majority of people are covered. I know a couple of people personally in my life that wouldn't appreciate a book because they really don't read for pleasure, but aside from that, there is a book out there for everyone that they can enjoy. And even if they don't really have time to read normally, maybe over the Christmas period, especially if they're off work, they will get the opportunity to have a cozy moment with a book. Obviously this is going to have to be a physical book if you want something to go into a stocking. A digital book isn't necessarily going to work in the same way unless you're going all out and buying them the actual device you read the book on if they don't already have one. But a book is a brilliant gift because it can then be donated later on or handed down to someone else to read. It doesn't just have to serve its one life and one purpose with that person, it can then go on to another life afterwards for someone else to enjoy. Item number 2 is lottery tickets or scratch cards. Now, depending on your viewpoint with this one, you may be open to this one or not. I think it's actually quite a nice one to do. So last year I just put £5 worth of scratch cards in each of our stockings because you never know. Even the enjoyment of scratching them off can be a little bit exciting. And if they do happen to win a little something out of it, then that's just an added bonus at Christmas. If both you and they are comfortable with it, I don't see why scratch cards can't make up a part of somebody's gifts in their stocking. Number 3 is beauty items, whether that's makeup, hand cream, shampoo, shower gel, anything really that that person enjoys to use will make a great stocking filler. The only thing I would say you'd have to be careful with this one is to use brands that you know they are comfortable with and that they support the practices of. Stocking fillers can be a great opportunity to try new products or to get smaller travel size versions of products for that person to try out. But in order to minimize waste, I would always advise going for brands you know they use and love, because that way you know they're going to get the use out of the item and they are going to enjoy it, and it's not going to end up unused, expiring, and just ending up in the trash. Number 4 is a notebook and maybe even a pen to go with it. Most of us at some point require making notes, jotting things down, so a notebook and a pen might be a nice gift. Depending on the person, it might also not be something they necessarily buy for themselves. It might be one of those things that they wait to be gifted. I know there's a few things that I don't buy for myself because I know that people will generally gift them to me. Things like socks I never buy for myself, mugs I never buy for myself, because they're the sort of things that people tend to just buy as smaller gifts. I think a notebook and pen is probably one of those things for a lot of people. I think also a lot of people don't go out of their way to purchase pens because pens just seem to turn up in your life. I seem to have pens everywhere, but I can't remember the last time I actually bought one. So a notebook and pen might be a nice stocking filler this year. The next one is things like chocolates, biscuits, snacks. They're small items, they can go into a stocking, they fill it up a little bit, and people can enjoy them over the festive period. I've mentioned it before with consumables. It's also an item that you know is not going to hang around in their space for very long. They're going to eat it, use it up, and then it'll be done with. And generally speaking, compared to other items, food items do come at a lower price point. So if you are on a bit more of a budget, then chocolates or biscuits might be the way to go. Now this next one probably doesn't seem very exciting, but it is one that is a bit more useful and a bit more practical, and that is a pack of batteries if they don't already have rechargeable ones. I did this last year because I think at Christmas you get new things, sometimes they require batteries, and I know for a fact my husband relies on batteries for things like the Xbox controllers, so it just makes sense to have a few extra, particularly over Christmas, especially as well if you've got children in your household and they might have presents that require batteries, toys and things. It's just a handy thing to have. So I put batteries in my husband's stocking last Christmas and I didn't get any complaints. The next item on my list is socks, and this doesn't necessarily mean novelty Christmas socks. If they are into that sort of thing, then that's absolutely fine. I know personally I have Christmas socks and I actually wear them all year round. Doesn't bother me. People don't really see my socks anyway. They're usually underneath my trousers. And I usually wear boots, like ankle boots, so you can't see my socks, so I don't really mind if I'm wearing a pair of Christmas socks in July. Maybe that's just me. But socks, not necessarily novelty Christmas ones, it can be any style, any theme, even just plain basic ones. Most people need socks at some point, and as I said, it's one of those things I don't generally buy for myself because they tend to be given to me as gifts, and it's just a practical purchase, so socks is another stocking filler idea. The The next thing is a gift card. Gift cards are very flexible in the amount of money you can give, so it can suit any budget. If you're not sure about what the person might like as a gift, or you've asked them and they couldn't come up with an answer, then a gift card could be the way to go. Nice and easy. It can be slipped into the stocking and then that's all done. In the past, if I've given gift cards, just to make it a little bit more like opening a present, I've always popped it in an envelope and then wrapped that envelope. So it's a very flat present, but I still have gift wrapped it and put a tag on it and a bow and things like that, just to make it more exciting, so they've got something to open on Christmas Day or whenever they do decide to open their presents. So it doesn't have to be that it's not a proper gift that they can unwrap. You can make it so a gift card can be unwrapped. My next item is candles or wax melts. Personally, I don't burn candles at home, but I do have a couple of plug-in warmers in my house for wax melts, so work out what that person uses in their home. But you can't go wrong with a nice fragrance. Just be sure they are a person that's happy to have, if it is artificial fragrance, then artificial fragrance in their house, or go down the natural fragrance route if you can. You can even go for Christmassy scents if you want to, or you can go for something that they can use all year round. And my last stocking filler is just cash. This idea was actually inspired by my auntie. When my sister and I got to the age where I think it would have been quite difficult to know what sort of presents we would have wanted, probably like when we were teenagers, all she used to do was put some money in a tiny little gift box and seal it up, and she used to seal it up really well, that we would spend ages trying to like cut into the box or into the tape to try and open it. But again, it's just another way to dress it up a little bit, so it's not just cash given, it's still in the form of a little present, and it's the perfect size to go into the stocking. And that's it. That's my list of 10 stocking filler ideas that are more useful and practical, that avoid having those items that can become junk very quickly after Christmas. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. I will continue to make a few more videos about Christmas, and as we run up to the end of the year, I've got a few things I want to wrap up, like my no buy and my New Year's resolutions, and a few other things that I've talked about over the course of this year. That's all from me for this week. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in another video soon. Take care. Bye.